Hi, welcome to OwlPlays. This is WarioWare DIY Showcase. I thought I would show you some of the microgames that I've made. Right, let's have a quick look at the games themselves before we start playing them. So I made 4 categories here. This first category is Animals and Nature. This second one is Food and Drink. This third one is Sports and Video Games. And finally, this is just everything else. Stuff that doesn't fit in the previous categories. I decided to put them in categories because sometimes I think limiting yourself actually forces you to be a bit more creative. And that's it really, to be honest. I think the game should really speak for themselves. I think generally it's a decent collection of games, nothing amazing or outstanding. But I think considering some of the microgames I've seen other people make being pretty shit, I think mine actually kind of not too bad, to be honest. Yeah. So well, look, let's just go to the game blender. Let's just put this on the normal mix. Right then. Right then, let's see what comes first. Oh god. Okay, the emulator makes it look really shitty, by the way, I'm sorry about that. But it's basically taking like the DS size screen and then making it fit on a 1080p monitor. It's not going to look good. But yeah, I've done a lot of games that require you just to tap the screen just to perform an action, because I think those are like very classic style WarioWare stuff. Yeah, I mean, I think it goes to 5 games in a speed up. Oh, by the way, I'm playing through a mouse. It's basically emulating the Wiimote. I don't know if it will show the cursor or not on the finger. Yeah, I definitely like the transitional music on the Wii version than the DS. Also, this is Load Runner. One thing I'm disappointed in, I was expecting it to show like the name of the game in the corner, like it does on the DS, but it doesn't. There's plenty of room to put it. Yeah, and certain games have little Easter eggs, like usually just tap in an object to make a sound. I reused that hand graphic like 20 fucking times. Yeah, this would also be a lot harder on an actual Wii. Because I made these games with the Wii in mind. Fuck. Yeah, because obviously tapping a screen is a lot easier than pointing and pressing a button. So I kind of made them a little bit easier to compensate a little bit. You can still play them on the DS, but it'd just be a bit easier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, even. See, that one's mean, because the even and odd button, 50% chance of flipping them around. But yeah, I'll talk about the games in a little bit more depth after we play them a little bit. Probably be that one. And that is actually based on my old phone, that one. I reuse that graphic as well. I'm not very good at art, to say the least, so... Okay, I'm kind of proud how that sprite work came out. I had to copy that like pixel per pixel, and it was very tedious. That particular minigame is very special to me. I'll talk about why later. It's so shit. Here's a leaf. Swap. There we go. But yeah, I know Vinny did a stream where he played some custom minigames someone sent him, and it was a bit of a shit show because the minigames just weren't that good. They weren't well thought out, and it was a bit of a cringy stream anyway. Not his fault. And also that person who made those minigames was very well-meaning, but unfortunately these minigames just weren't that good. They made me feel a lot better about mine though, I'll say that. I'd say one of the things I'm actually most proud about in these games is the music. I think most of the music I made is actually decent little jingles, and it feels very WarioWare-like. Yeah, that's one of my favourites of music. I'll highlight some of these games afterwards. I love how long that arm is. It goes on forever. One fact, because the game also gives you lots of different instruments to work with, I used each instrument at least once throughout the games. Some of them not very often, of course. Like some of them, that's one of the problems I think a lot of people have with the game actually is that a lot of the instruments they give you are kind of useless and too jokey. Like for example, like the monkey and like the pig and stuff, they're not very useful. Those monkeys are so terribly drawn. God, yeah, this would be so much harder with a Wiimote. And by the way, if you want to play these minigames, you can. That's the amazing thing. You can actually play them. There'll be like a link in the description, and unfortunately, you'll only be able to play them on an emulated version of WarioWare DIY Showcase. So you won't be able to play it on official hardware, I'm afraid. At least not at the moment. You know, I'm a bit limited. I don't have like one of those flash memory cards and stuff. Pizza. God, yeah. Thing is, we keep getting new ones because there's 72 of them. We still haven't showed them all. Oh fuck! Those are hieroglyphics, so that actually does translate. Cheese. Yeah, I'm a little bit under the weather at the moment, so my voice is probably a little bit off. It's probably less annoying than it normally is. Shit. But I would say there's a few genuinely clever games in this. Not that one particularly. But A, B, C, there we go. But yeah, I'm gonna do a separate video where I just do this without commentary, so if you find me annoying, don't worry, you can watch that one. It's a fucking hand again. I use it like 5-10 times in this. Lime, orange, tomato. Lime, there you go. But yeah, all the music in this is custom. It's not using any of the default stuff or the maestro, what they call it. Obviously, the Microgames based on video games. Obviously, I just basically copied that, but I kind of put a little bit of bounce to it. Oh, to what video games is TF2? Yeah, I mean, I couldn't resist making one based with TF2. Oh, this is like... Oh, I'll talk about these in more detail, some of them, not all of them. But yeah, this is one of my favourites. It's so mean to the guinea pigs. This is probably the cleverest one I made. Fuck is that? I don't remember. That's probably the hardest one because I forget what the fucking stakes are. What the? Oh fuck. You have to select the right items and I fucked up right at the beginning. And I couldn't resist putting a crash one in as well. Not right, left. There you go. He's got a little hat. Because I think... Oh, okay, we're starting to repeat them now, I think, because we've reached 72, so... You know what, I'm just gonna end things now. So, I think that I've shown every single game there. Pretty much. But yeah, I mean, as I said, I think it's a decent collection of games, nothing horrendous. But yeah, let's have a look at some of them in more detail. Not all of them, don't worry. This one, I said this one was special to me. Because this one, I made when the game came out. About 10 years ago, so it's the only one that survived 10 years. All the other old ones I made have basically been deleted at this point. Very simple. The only change I made was just making the music a little bit more bouncier. Putting like the percussion in the background. Wait a minute, how do I exit? Oh no, because I'm actually using... I don't think I can actually exit. What the... Oh no, like... I think hitting the mouse, the middle button, kind of like shakes it. I guess that's for like Super Mario Galaxy and stuff when you sort of flick. So I'm going to have to let this run out, I haven't got any way of accessing the minigames. But yeah, I mean, I remember when they used to do the design competitions, and one of mine won. Well, it was selected as one of the winners, it wasn't like first place. It wasn't even a very good one. None of these are super interesting, to be honest. I don't know, like this one, I think this one is one of the smarter ones. Find the fish. It's just, I say one of the most, I have a few rules when it comes to making these mini games. First one is they should be simple. I mean, obviously it's a 4 or 8 second game, you don't want it to be overly complicated. And even if you don't necessarily know how to play it the first time, you should pretty much get it. The second thing is it should be fair. Obviously you don't have to make the games easy, but they shouldn't be so ridiculously difficult. Like, you want each game to be sort of in the same ballpark when it comes to difficulty, because you don't want that those 1 or 2 games that are just ridiculously hard in comparison to the rest. The official WarioWare games are actually really guilty of that sometimes. They have certain mini-games which are just so much harder than the rest. I think it got generally better over time, but you don't want to like reach. I just realised that little thing on the cartridge, that's a piece of shit. I thought it was just an angry guy. I didn't know it was a piece of poo. But another thing I think is important is having an element of randomness to every game. Every game I've got here has an element of randomness, meaning every time you play it, it will be a little bit different. Sometimes it might be something really simple, like the donut one. Where is it? Go Nuts, for example. So you pick the one with the most sprinkles, and first of all, you have 2 donuts there, one on the left, one on the right. They can either have 1 or 2 graphics randomly, and then they can switch positions. I mean, there's probably about 8 versions of that minigame alone, and that's one of the simpler ones. There are some minigames here that have probably thousands of versions just because of the sheer element of randomness. It means it keeps you on your toes, that way it's not exactly the same game every time. And I think that's super important as well, just sort of keeps things fresh. Like obviously this one, for example, which items you have to select is completely random, and now and then they can even say not a hot dog, not french fries, not a cola. It just sort of, it means you just can't expect the same thing every time. And I think that makes it more replayable as well, which to me is just, they should be replayable in the first place. Tennis that's probably the weakest game of the lot. But also you get, let's have a look at the video game ones. Like, simple, and it makes sense with the game as well. And I called it Crash Bash because, you know, it gives you a little bit extra pun as well. Obviously, touching the nitro just kills you. Of course, if you touch the nitro after you beat all the other boxes, doesn't matter. I'm not going to take away your win, I'm not mean. But I think once you get in a win state, you can't lose anyway. I should have an Easter egg where you touch him. I want to touch Crash. I want to touch Crash in his ass. No. Yeah, Gold Runner. That's also a reference to Lode Runner. I absolutely love Lode Runner. Like, specifically, I love the ones on the Saturn. And of course, Lode Runner gets referenced in this one again. Game & Match is obviously a reference to Game & Watch. And as you get the... This is interesting, because unfortunately, I can't show you like the internals of the game like I can on the DS. But here, obviously, the Saturn... Talking about randomness again, obviously, the positions of the consoles can flip randomly. The PlayStation can either be that model or the blue model, the debug model. And the Saturn, it can be either be between the Japanese one there, the white one, or the European black one. And the games at the bottom are random as well. They can flip positions and they can change colours as well. That's Side Pocket 2 for the Saturn. That can also be Lode Runner Extra. And Metal Gear Solid on the right, that can also be Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Again, just, I think having that element of randomness keeps you on your toes. And obviously this one, for example, this is based on TF2. I mean, how can I not make one based on TF2? So it can either be a scout running in from one of the sides, either left or right, and from a random position as well. Or it can be a spy, which can spawn pretty much in the entire area. There's one extra little element to this one which I think makes it stand out a little bit. I'll show you now. At the bottom there's a number, it says 1. You can miss. Meaning you've got 1 shot. And I think if... And he just fades back out. But yeah, I mean, I just think... Simple, fun, fair, and random. That's how you should make a minigame on this. And I think the WarioWare games are kind of guilty of not doing that sometimes. But But they're making hundreds of them, I'm just made 72 and that was hard enough. WarioWare, okay, I will say I am proud of that pun there, WarioWare. Because I wanted to make one based on a WarioWare microgame, and I wanted to make one based on Wario Land. And this is sort of a compromise I made, but I think that's a legitimately good pun. Poke effective, okay, this is a clever little one. Does it show there, defeat the badly animated Pokemon? Because I did a lot of sprite work in this, but this is one of the first video game ones I made and I couldn't be bothered to do sprite work at the time. That's why I get like the shitty animated ones. So also use a Blastoise water type, beat him with Razor Leaf. And the answers are random, randomly located. So again, just I keep talking about randomness, but I think it's super important. And of course that's a little remix of the Who's That Pokemon theme. Oh, that Charizard looks so sad. Mommy beat me. Yeah, this one, I just think this is just clever. And I love the way this sort of the pieces like fly in as well. Because you can like, it's just really simple. This is probably the most complicated one in the entire thing. Like, because the game uses switches and it's a very intuitive system, but it can get a little bit convoluted after a while. But also if you don't do it in time, you lose. So originally this was like a 4-second minigame and I realised that that's going to be way too difficult to do that on a Wii. So I shouldn't have won that one because it's going to last longer now. Oh, Lightfed. I think this is a really clever one. This is similar to the fish one, where I'm playing with sort of light and dark. And even if the lights don't go on the object, you can kind of deduct where it would be anyway. And the thing is, you can just mash the button anyway if you're that desperate to win. It's one of my favourite little bits of music as well. Because I'm not a musician in any way or form, and I am fucking amazed that I came up with so many little ditties. Let's look at a couple more. This is Lunacy. Plunge a toilet. Sometimes you can just take a really simple concept, just plunging a toilet, and make it a nice little mini game. Now you might be wondering, how can you make that one random? Well, the bar at the right, when you tap, every time you play the minigame, it goes up by a different amount. It can go up by a little, or it can go up by a lot. So therefore you have to sort of pay attention to it and not mash. You can't mash. So this time it went up a little bit. And let's see, hopefully it will go up a lot more this time. No, about the same. So sometimes you can just press it 4 times and win, sometimes you have to press it more like 6 or 7. See, it's gone up a bit more that time. It's the hand again! Love that fucking hand. I reused that graphic so many times.